All right, let's keep going. So our first question, we talked about how many tons were started and completed during the month. If we look at this next part of our question here, see, we already did this part up here. So now we're going to continue on, and we have some information. And let me give you some very good advice. Anytime you see a question like this that has a bunch of numbers, okay, and you'll see this a lot in accounting, always come down and look at what they are actually going to ask you. Okay, so let's look at our questions here. Okay, and the first question that we've been asked to determine is it says completed and transferred out production. So let's just see here. It says total costs assigned by the rolling department. Okay, so when we say completed and transferred out, we're talking about a dollar figure here. So let's come up here and look at our scenario. It says the cost per equivalent unit of direct materials and conversion in the rolling department of Oak Ridge Steel Company are $2.25 and $1.35 respectively. Okay, so these are important figures here. And it's also probably worth noting that you do not have to make this calculation. It has been done for you. Okay, and it says the equivalent units to be assigned costs are as follows. When we look here, inventory and process, all of your questions that you're going to receive are going to be questions where direct materials are added at the beginning of the process. Okay, and we're going to be using first in, first out inventory flow assumption. So even if an item is not fully complete, in the examples that you're going to get in this class, they will always be complete as to materials. So inventory and process on July the 1st as to direct materials is 0. However, inventory and process on July 1st, conversion costs, okay, review what conversion costs are, 2,800 units, okay. We have some information here. Units started and completed during July, 69,000 direct materials, 69,000 conversion. These two numbers will always be the same. Otherwise, they can't be started and completed in the same month. Makes sense? Okay, and then we also have transferred out of the rolling department, completed. Well, if we started 69,000, we had 0, we started and completed 69,000, that's as to materials, then the number transferred out of rolling as to materials is 69,000. Transferred out conversion would be 71,800. They're just adding these two numbers here. We've got other figures as well. So let's see what we actually need. It says here, we have some additional information also. It says the beginning work in process inventory on July 1st had a cost of $1,600. Okay, and this is first in, first out, or FIFO, inventory cost flow assumption, so we're going to have to account for that $1,600 there. And it says determine the cost completed and transferred out production, the ending work in process inventory, and the total costs assigned by the rolling department. So we're going to use probably all of these numbers, but not all of these numbers all at once. Okay, so let's look here. It says completed and transferred out production. Well, I already told you the first number we're going to need to look at is this $1,600. So let's just go ahead and plot that. Any beginning work in process inventory is going to be assumed to be finished at the end of the month. So we're going to count that $1,600. Okay. We also have some other costs that we have to account for. Okay. again, because we're using a FIFO process, we can assume that these 2,800 units here that were part of beginning work in process as to conversion cost are also going to be completed during the month. So we would simply add these 2,800 units times the predetermined $1.35 rate. Okay? Sorry if I moved the page too much there. Okay? Make good sense? Started and completed. Well, when they're completed, they're going to leave the department. So as to direct materials, we're going to have 69,000 units times our given rate of $2.25. Okay, and then we're also going to add to that these 69,000 conversion units times the given rate of $1.35. Okay? Now, I want to point out one thing. We could have, instead of doing the 2,800 times $1.35 and this 69,000 times $1.35, we could have just grabbed this 71,800 and multiplied that by $1.35. But I want you to understand a little bit more of the flow of this process. Okay? And you can use your calculators at home to confirm this number. But I believe if we add the $1,600 plus this, plus and plus, we will come up with a grand total of $253,780 completed and transferred out of the rolling department during the month of July.